Stop. If you consider yourself a nice person, close this video right now, because what I'm about to say will destroy that identity. Here's the brutal truth. Nice people are not respected. They are tolerated, used, forgotten. You think kindness earns loyalty, but in Machiavelli's world and the real world, power respects strength, not softness. What I'm about to reveal will make you uncomfortable. It should, because your entire social life has been built on a lie. Before we go further, answer this honestly. Has being nice ever cost you a job, a relationship, or your dignity? If yes, comment, "No more." Let the world see your turning point. Chapter 1. The Hidden Cost of Niceness. You were raised on a fantasy. Be nice and people will be nice back. Good things happen to good people. Kindness always wins. But deep down you've seen the opposite. The quiet, helpful worker gets overlooked. The generous friend gets taken advantage of. The loyal partner gets cheated on. The nice guy gets replaced. Why? Because society values what it fears losing. Nice people don't create fear of loss. They create expectation, predictability. They train others to assume compliance. And Machiavelli warned, men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, covetous. Translation: people act in self-interest, not sentiment. You've mistaken niceness for virtue, but in reality, it's submission disguised as kindness. Think back. How many times did you agree to something you didn't want? How often did you stay silent to keep peace? How many boundaries did you ignore to avoid tension? Niceness becomes a mask, a shield you hide behind because confrontation scares you. But every time you avoid conflict, you sacrifice respect, and respect is the currency of influence. Without it, you're powerless. This isn't about becoming cruel. This is about becoming strong. Neuroscience shows that niceness removes all three. When you are always available, you communicate low value. When you tolerate bad behavior, you teach people they can overstep. When you say yes automatically, others stop considering your needs. Respect dies slowly. Not from one dramatic moment, but from 1,000 small acts of self-betrayal. Picture two co-workers. James, agreeable, polite, helpful. Mark, calm, assertive, mysterious. James volunteers for extra tasks. Mark delegates, declines, negotiates. Who gets exploited? James. Who gets promoted? Mark. Not because Mark is better. Because Mark signals value. People respect boundaries, not compliance. Machiavelli never advised cruelty. He advised perception control. A nice person erases tension. A respected person commands attention. If you want influence, you must stop trying to be liked and start requiring respect. This is the foundation of social warfare. Stop giving power away. Stop revealing weakness. Stop over-explaining. Stop apologizing unnecessarily. Stop assuming loyalty. Nice people fear rejection. Respected people fear self-betrayal. Pause for a second. Here's the uncomfortable statistic. According to studies, people rate others as more competent when they speak less and assert boundaries. Meaning, your silence can increase authority more than your kindness ever will. Let that sink in. You've been conditioned to believe in reciprocity, but reciprocity only exists when parties respect each other equally. In social hierarchies, reciprocity collapses. If someone senses weakness, they subconsciously test limits. They push, they take, they escalate, until you snap or disappear. That's why nice people eventually explode. Not because they're naturally angry, but because they've swallowed their boundaries for too long. When you say yes while meaning no, you abandon yourself. When you smile through disappointment, you devalue your own emotions. When you stay silent to keep peace, you sacrifice internal dignity. Little by little, niceness becomes a prison. You don't get respect. You don't get gratitude. You don't get loyalty. You get drained. Everything changes when you realize people don't respect niceness. People respect consequences. And you're about to learn how to enforce them calmly, silently, strategically, not through aggression, not through confrontation, but through controlled boundaries. Chapter 2. The Strategy of Respect. Machiavelli's Social Warfare Blueprint. You've seen why niceness fails. Now you will learn how to weaponize restraint, boundaries, and scarcity to command respect without ever asking for it. Machiavelli understood human nature is predictable. Once you learn the rules, you stop being manipulated by emotion and start controlling perception with precision. This chapter reveals the system. These are not theories. These are psychological pressure points used by leaders, kings, CEOs, generals, and quiet killers of influence. Use them ethically, never maliciously. People value what is scarce. If you make yourself too available, you reduce perceived value instantly. Stop replying instantly. Stop accepting every invitation. Stop letting people interrupt your time. Scarcity breeds respect. Machiavelli warned that proximity invites contempt, meaning the more someone sees you, the more they take you for granted. So create strategic distance, not dramatic silence, not emotional withdrawal, just controlled access. Speak less, move slower, respond intentionally. You'll notice something. People start trying harder. They lean in, they chase. Not because you forced them to, but because humans crave what feels earned. Weak men speak paragraphs, strong men speak in sentences. When someone asks you for your time, energy, or compliance, practice saying, "No, that won't work for me." Not, "Sorry, I'm just really busy. I wish I could, but maybe next time." Explanations weaken the boundary. Silence after the no strengthens it. This forces the other person to confront the boundary with clarity. They may push back. They may act surprised. Good. That discomfort is the birth of respect, because respect doesn't grow from compromise. It grows from firmness. When someone tries to provoke you, they want access to your emotions. If you respond reactively, you communicate loss of control. Instead, stay calm, slow your breaths, lower your voice. Silence becomes armor. Emotionally neutral responses signal. Power, clarity, self-worth. Emotional outbursts signal. Insecurity, desperation, weakness. Remember, in social warfare, the first person to lose emotional control loses power. Stop scrolling mentally and listen carefully. Here's a shocking psychological reality. Most people don't actually want you to be nice. They want you to be predictable, controllable, and compliant. Polite discomfort keeps others safe. Assertive boundaries threaten the power dynamics. That's why people get upset when you stop being nice. It exposes their expectations of control. This realization is your liberation. Information is leverage. When you speak too much, you reveal desires, insecurities, goals, weaknesses. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must guard his intentions, showing neither fear nor desire. Quiet people terrify manipulators because silence eliminates hooks. Nothing to exploit. Start observing who interrupts you, who dismisses your boundaries, who respects silence, who fills gaps with nervous chatter. You learn more by listening than talking. When someone disrespects you, you feel a flash of emotion, anger, humiliation, betrayal, but immediate reaction gives them power. Delayed reaction gives you strategy. Pause, process, plan, then act when you choose, not when triggered. Your delayed response communicates emotional sovereignty, self-control, strategic mind. This terrifies people who expect the old you, the nice, predictable accommodator. Attention is dopamine, admiration, energy. When people receive too much of it, they adapt, normalize, demand. Withdrawing attention quietly creates internal panic in others, not to manipulate, but to reset power dynamics. Suddenly they replay conversations, reconsider their tone, fear losing access. This is silent social warfare, not noise, not confrontation, just calibrated distance. Time is power. Time is leverage. Time is dignity. Nice people give away their time freely because they fear disappointing others. Respected people guard their time because they know every minute is currency. Treat your time like treasure, not charity. When someone asks for time, ask yourself, is this aligned with my purpose? If the answer is no, the response should be no, without guilt. Thousands of elite performers adopt these principles. World leaders, elite negotiators, successful entrepreneurs, disciplined warriors. The pattern is consistent. Those who command respect are calm but not compliant, quiet but not submissive, kind but never at their own expense. You can embody this too, not by becoming someone else, but by eliminating the habits that make you exploited. Now, here's where it becomes dangerous, because strategy alone isn't transformation. Transformation requires execution. In Chapter 3, I'll show you exactly how to make the shift from overlooked, undervalued, ignored to respected, unshakable, untouchable in 30 days of deliberate behavioral change. And the final step, the one Machiavelli hinted at but never wrote explicitly, is the habit that will flip social dynamics permanently. If you're ready to stop living as the agreeable pawn and step into silent power, keep watching. The training begins now. Chapter 3, The Transformation. 30 days to command respect. Silently. You've learned the rules. You've seen why niceness destroys respect. Now you will learn the execution. Because power is earned through consistent behavior, not intentions or speeches. This is the 30-day behavioral transformation protocol that shifts you from agreeable to assertive, ignored to noticed, replaceable to respected. These steps require discipline, consistency, restraint. They are subtle, psychological, and devastatingly effective. The first phase isn't about action toward others. It's about reclaiming control from within. Because people sense internal chaos instantly. For 10 days, pause before you respond. Even 2 seconds of silence rewires perception. You're no longer emotionally available on demand. Practice stillness. Practice delayed replies. Practice neutrality. Write them down. When you agree just to avoid conflict, when you apologize needlessly, when you rush to reassure others, when you ask permission to exist, these patterns make you exploitable. Awareness is your new armor. These are non-negotiables. Start with, I do not explain myself unnecessarily. I do not sacrifice my needs to avoid discomfort. I do not chase those who distance themselves. These commandments create identity boundaries, the frame others must adapt to. Now, begin altering your external actions. These are micro-behaviors that create massive perceptual shifts. This forces others to fill silence. Control the pace, control the rhythm, control the interaction. Silence projects strength when paired with confidence. Not aggressively, not dramatically, just firmly. That won't work for me. When you decline small things, people subconsciously assume your energy is valuable and limited. Not ghosting, not avoiding, just intentional absence. Leave events early, respond slower. Choose solitude over convenience. Scarcity raises perceived value. Presence becomes privilege, not default. Now, pause. This next truth is crucial. People treat you according to the standard you consistently reinforce, not the standard you silently hope for. If you let others overstep, they'll make it habit. If you enforce boundaries once, they'll test again. If you enforce boundaries calmly and consistently, they adapt. Humans instinctively respect a firm frame, even if they dislike it consciously. This is Machiavelli's insight. It is better to be respected than liked, because respect commands behavior. Liking merely invites expectation. This final phase is subtle, but when done correctly, it reverses the power dynamic permanently. Stop seeking validation, reassurance, praise. Stop explaining why you do things, how you feel, what you intended. People must learn your moves through observation, not negotiation. You don't rush to fix tension. You don't soften boundaries. You don't rush to fill silence. Tension is leverage. Silence is dominance. Composure is control. When someone treats you with respect, respond warmly. Offer time. Acknowledge effort. When someone disrespects or devalues you, remove access, withdraw, slowly become selective. You're training people how to behave around you. He implied it through metaphor and manipulation, but never stated it clearly. The most powerful man needs no revenge, only results. Your transformation makes others regret losing access, not because you punish them, but because your presence now feels dignified, rare, self-sufficient, purposeful. Their regret is internal, silent, psychological. Here's the separation point. Please accept me. You must qualify for access. Nice tries to avoid hurting feelings. Respected protects inner dignity. Nice seeks approval. Respected commands attention. Nice explains. Respected states. Nice apologizes. Respected maintains position. In the next 24 hours, speak 10% less. Remove at least one unnecessary apology. Say no. Once, without explanation, allow silence. During discomfort, delay. Responses, audit. Manipulative expectations. Small shifts create seismic perceptual change. Imagine this future version of yourself. You enter rooms calm, silent, composed. People straighten their posture around you. They think before speaking to you. They watch your reactions carefully. Not because you threaten, not because you demand, but because your restraint radiates authority. You are no longer the nice accommodator. You're the calm strategist. People who once ignored you now hesitate. Those who undervalued you recalculate. Those who dismissed you regret their assumption, not due to revenge, but because you evolved silently. You became a man who respects himself first. If this resonated, act. Do not passively consume this like entertainment. Apply one principle today. Comment below. Respect over approval. If you're ready for the full Machiavelli transformation, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Because in the next video, we'll go deeper into psychological warfare, the calm, strategic kind that leaves no traces, no explanations, just results. Remember, the moment you stop begging for respect is the moment people start giving it.